This episode is sponsored by NOMA, No More Abuse, founded by Coach D. NOMA is a supportive community dedicated to helping women heal and rebuild their lives after experiencing abuse. With a focus on faith, empowerment, and trauma-informed support, NOMA provides resources and encouragement to help women move forward with strength and purpose. Because as Coach D reminds us, there is healing on the other side of trauma. For more information, please go to nomoreabusenoma.com for more information. Now back to the show. Hello and welcome to another episode of Becoming the Proverbs 30 Woman podcast. I'm your host, Chioma Kehinde, also known as Special Agent Chi, and on today's show we have Nisha McNair. Nisha McNair is a disciple of Christ, a salon owner, and a leader who views her business as sacred ground. As the owner of luxury nail and spa and microloc specialist, she understands that salon is not just a place of beauty, but a space God has entrusted her to reach, serve, and lead by example through character, discipline, and faith in action. Welcome, my sister in the Lord, Nisha
Thank
McNair.
you.
Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Nisha. I also appreciate you being on this show. Nisha, I know you have been in terms of just, I feel like light attracts light. And I feel like when I had the cleaning business, you were my client. And it's just, I just appreciate even just with that, we still, keeping in touch. And I feel like when you see a light, the light of Christ in somebody else, in another sister, it just attracts.
Amen. Yes.
So I really appreciate you being on here. So in one sentence, Nisha, can you just tell the audience what it is that you do?
So my main objective in life is really to make a Christ known to others. That's what I do. Whether it's through sharing his word, whether it's displaying it through my character, that's my first and foremost responsibility. Um, on top of that, I'm also the salon owner of Luxury Nail and Spa located in Baltimore, Maryland. While it's primarily a nail salon, I also am a microloc and sister lock specialist. So I do service those types of clients at the salon as well.
Oh, nice. So when did you first feel this calling to do this?
So I did it. I wouldn't say if I necessarily felt a call in. However, I do know it was divine intervention. I'm going to try not to make this long, but
Feel free. Feel
in the
free.
midst of me deciding to leave corporate after 23 years to be the caretaker for my husband who was battling cancer, I didn't know what my next step was. It was November, what year? Oh my gosh. So it was November 2022. My husband and I were driving up Charles Street and we were in the process of me talking about, resigning from my job. And so he asked me like, what's your next step? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I thought you were going to take care of me. But he was like, okay, you can't sit still. So like, what's your next step? So we talked about what my goals were, my long-term goals, my short-term goals. And I did mention to him, I said, I would love to be able to have a salon where I can show or sell my skincare line. I did have a skincare line when I was living in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And I kind of put it on a back burner when I relocated to Baltimore. But I was like, okay, I can, bring that back, the skincare line. But I wanted to be in a place where, clients can use it, where the staff can use it, so forth and so on. And so he asked me like what type of salon, and I was like, well, I wasn't too sure. I know I like to do hair, so I was like something in the hair realm. I said, but I would like to have like estheticians and nail techs and all the things. And so he asked me, where would you like the salon to be located? I was like, I'm not really familiar with Baltimore because at that time I had only been living here for not even 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't really familiar with Baltimore, but I said if it had to be a place, I said I would like Charles Street. I said I like the location. I like, all of the small black-owned businesses up and down Charles Street. I said I think that would be ideal. January of 2023, I resigned. The day I resigned, now, okay, this is Proverbs 31, right? Keep that in mind. Because I was also a real estate agent.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was bored. I just moved to Baltimore. Cinco de Mayo came. I was like, I can either go out and do all the things that people do, which was not going to happen, or I can figure out like what's my next step. Apply for real estate school or whatever it was called. I can't remember the exact name, but real estate school. And within 89 days, I was a fully licensed real estate agent.
No
Yes. I
way.
was doing
Wow.
that on the side while working my 9 to 5. Okay. So January 2023, I officially resigned from my job. The owner of the salon that I eventually purchased was retiring and relocating out of state. So he wanted me to list his property. The day I officially resigned from my job is the day that I went to go tour his property so I can start the listing process. In the midst of everything, at the end of the conversation, I said, well, what are you going to do with your salon? And he said, well, I'm going to put it on the market. I have a few people interested. And I was like, okay, so, I'll go ahead and list the salon for you as well. And out of nowhere, this man said, Nisha, I think you would be perfect for the salon. And I was like,
Wow.
I know nothing about owning a salon. Like, I was like, no, yeah, that's not my thing, blah, blah, blah. Now, keep in mind, when I was living in Brooklyn, I was doing hair out of my apartment on a regular. So,
Yeah.
all right, God knew what he
Wow.
was up to.
Wow.
So, he talked numbers to me and everything. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, absolutely not. One, I can't afford it. Two, I know nothing about running a salon business. So it's just not in my realm. When I got in the car, I called my husband and I said, this man offered me to buy his salon, like blah, blah, blah. What do you think? He said, Nisha, do you not remember our conversation we had in November? He said, this is exactly what you wanted. And on top of that, the salon is located on Charles Street.
Oh, wow.
I
Mm,
was like,
mm.
are you for real? I said, so what do you think? And he was like, let's do it. So that was January 2023. April 1st, we had signed the papers and we were now the official owners of the salon that I had been going to for 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So they used to go to the salon. Oh
I
my
had been going to, as soon as
gosh.
I moved to Baltimore, I went to go, look at a
Wow.
place to see where to go get my nails done. It was the first one that came up. I had been going. The work wasn't the greatest, but something kept me going there, right? I
Yeah.
loved the environment. The people were really friendly. And I just kept going, not knowing God was setting everything up in motion behind the
My
scenes. So,
goodness.
yep. So within 2 years, we had, from the time I moved here, we had officially purchased the salon, and that's the salon that I
Wow.
currently own
Oh my, that's an amazing story. Like how God works things out, like in terms of like He orders everything in
now.
play.
Oh,
So a place
God.
that was just right in your face, like full circle.
Can't make this stuff up, but that's how
Now you're
God
doing it.
works, right? It
Yes,
ha it has to be beyond what we can even think or imagine.
yes,
And that's
yes,
the God we serve. He's so
yes.
amazing.
No, no, no. He is. He is. My
Mhm.
goodness, that's an amazing story of how you had that. So you were here. You were trying to list help
I was trying
purchase
to miss
the
the
business,
man's
and you
house.
own.
I ended up buying his salon.
That is amazing. That
Yes.
is amazing. So how do you balance all this? Like how do you balance like your faith and, owning the salon and just your different ventures? How do you balance all this?
It can be tough at times. I mean, especially like when you think about owning a salon and the multiple personalities that come through there. And with any type of business, everybody that's going to walk through the door is not a believer, right? So you have to, one, stay prayed up. Like for real, you have to make sure that everything you do to the glory of God. Everything you do with an excellence. You don't give any room for the devil, right? So you have to learn how to manage multiple personalities, whether it be from the clients, whether it be from the staff. You have to manage, non-believers versus believers, right? All the things that come with owning a business, understanding it is a business, but also understanding for me it's ministry.
Hmm.
Um, I pray over my salon. I walk through and I touch the chairs and the stations that the staff work at and that the clients are going to sit in. I go into my room where I do hair and I ask the Lord to lead me. If my client that comes in that day is not a believer, create an opportunity for me to speak about him. If they are a believer, create opportunities for us to talk about nothing other than him. And if they are not a believer and they don't want that discussion, let me know or give me the discernment to know to shake the dust off my feet and keep it moving and collect those coins at the end of the service. Okay. Everything is not
Yes.
going to pan out that way, but at the end of the day, they're going to look cute when they walk
Exactly.
out. And yes, everything is
Exactly.
going to be good.
Exactly. I like that because you usually when you think of salons, most people, the should I say the coining or the stigma around salons is it's a place to go, gossip and just get the tea or get this, that type of this. So that's different, in terms of just for a salon to have that like it's like a ministry
It is a ministry
of
for
seeing it that way,
I
of
mean,
just coming to the end.
that's how I view it, I understand the significance of going into the four walls of the church and, hearing the word and being equipped, but the real ministry happens outside of those four walls.
Yes. Yeah.
And because I'm not the type of person where I'm constantly out in the streets and going here and going there, I spend most of my time really at home. But other than that, it's at the salon. And I mean, what's that's the beauty of it is that I have so many people coming through that door each day. Every person that walks in that I get to service is a person that
Hmm.
I have an opportunity to share the glory of God with.
Yes, no, 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 definitely. Definitely. So in terms of so what season in terms of like building with the salon would you say that you're in right now?
Girl, right now, whew.
Hmm.
Right now, I am in a season of, I would say, transition. And
Okay.
what I mean by that is not necessarily transition, the focus of the salon in and of itself, but really the location of the salon. When
Okay.
I purchased the salon, at the time, it was a really great area. And there's still some really good benefits to being located over there. But there have been some, unfortunately, negative influences in that area that
Mhm.
have caused me to say, okay, I think it's time for me to relocate. You may say, well, it's only been 3 years, but a lot can happen in 3 years in Baltimore.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. No,
Right.
no, it can. Yeah.
So I've been feeling that shift. I've been feeling
Hmm.
that shift. And right now I'm in a season where I believe there's an opportunity that God has created for me. But most recently, um, I also believe, according to his word, that we are called to be lenders and not borrowers. We're called to be the head and not the tail. And
Yes.
so while I'm looking at the possibility of relocating to an area where I think would be amazing for the salon, now I'm at this valley of decision. Do I actually purchase my own property
Mm.
and not have to deal with, paying some big developer for their space and really thinking about long term, what does this look like? How can it help, benefit me, my family, and even the kingdom of God as well?
Yeah, that's a good, that's amazing. So in terms of your transition, right now you're in transition, trying to look for a space
So
right
I'm
now.
trying to look for a
Yes. Yeah.
space.
Okay.
I did
Okay.
extend my lease for another
Okay.
year just to give
Okay.
me some
To give you some
time.
time.
So yes,
Okay.
I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want the pressure. It's
Hmm.
already enough pressure running a salon. So I don't want
Can
that additional
imagine.
pressure.
Yes.
But yeah, so I am actively pursuing, again, whether to lease a space, whether to buy. I'm leaning more towards buying. So I am going to be talking with a few people this week to make a decision on that.
Do you have any offers in terms of your salon? Where can people find you to come in if they want to get service from you?
Absolutely. So we are located at 330 North Charles Street. It's in the Mount Vernon section of Baltimore, not too far from the Inner Harbor.
Okay. And are you having any specials going on or anything?
Right now, we can't because
Okay.
BG is taking all of our money.
Oh yeah. I think I remember you had
Oh my
mentioned
God.
something I think I
These
saw on
utilities are out
Facebook
of control.
with
So right now, unfortunately, we're not in a position to offer specials.
okay.
However, once summer starts to approach prom season, we'll tend to run
Yeah.
some specials for those times.
Yes. I do. Speaking of that, I liked even just how the support you got from that when you put like when BGE had mentioned
Yeah.
the issue. I think BGE what was it? Was it construction going on? or
Yes, and
something?
that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking to relocate. So there's been ongoing construction directly outside of my salon since I want to say it started early September 2025. It was supposed to end in December. It's now March. They're still working. So it's impacting, parking. There's no
Parking, yeah, I
parking.
remember you said so, yeah.
Clients having to circle of blocks and then canceling appointments because there's nowhere to park.
Mm.
The smell, the dust, the noise, the traffic. It's been a nightmare. And this is the third time that I've been in since I've been in the space that this has happened. And so
Mm.
it does directly impact, business and the
Yes.
flow of business. So I need to relocate.
Yes. No, no,
Yeah.
no, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense, definitely. With that, can people find you? Do you have any socials too where they can find you as well?
Absolutely. So for the salon itself, our Instagram is Be More Luxury. That's BMORE Luxury LUXURY. For my specific service with the locks, it's Be More Lux Locks. So that's BMORE LUXLOCS.
And I'll have this in the show notes so that way,
Perfect.
people can have it and you can have the link that's on there. So, is there anything you'd like to leave our viewers with this podcast that you'd like to stay with this episode?
Yeah, so I just want to encourage, and actually we were discussing this a little bit earlier. I just want to encourage you all, especially for women entrepreneurs, to really listen to the voice of God. Running a business, any type of business, is not easy. But when you really rely on God's instruction and you remain obedient to his word, trust me when I tell you, he will literally order your steps. I mean, the enemy is going to try to come in left and right,
Hmm.
especially when you make your business your ministry.
Hmm.
He's going to come, but we understand how this works and we
Yep.
understand that God provides an army for us.
Yep.
So remain obedient, trust in God, and when you put your faith in Him, there is nothing that you can't do.
Yes. 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 And then I agree with you, especially with the when you're using your business as a ministry. The
Yeah.
war, just expect warfare. And I think that's the part most believers don't believe is like, why is this happening? That's expect warfare. It's gonna happen. So you just have to stay geared up and prayed up and fasted up and
Absolutely.
everything up. So that way
Absolutely.
you're
Yep.
ready for it. So you expect like, okay, that's it. Like you just have to know his strategy of just how it works.
Yep.
It's gonna be warfare coming. So
Yeah.
during that time. So, this is the Becoming the Proverbs 31 Woman podcast. And I always ask all my guests, what's a quality of the Proverbs 31 woman do you most identify with?
Oh man. Let's see. I mean, really all of them. I mean,
Yes.
just being able to take care of my family.
Hmm.
I think about my three daughters. And I think about everything that I do. I think about being the example for them, and creating that generational legacy for them. Um, taking care of my household, um, being busy with the things of God, because the world can definitely keep you busy.
Yes.
So as long as, I stay focused on the leading of the Holy Spirit, I stay connected to His Word, I stay surrounded by His people. Again, I make no room for the devil.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes.
so yeah, so just staying busy with the things of God and not the things of this world, and creating that generational legacy for not only my children, but my children's children and their
Yes.
children.
Yes. Yes. That's it. And she did that. It's like her family, like she thought ahead.
Yeah,
So definitely,
yeah, absolutely.
definitely. So really appreciate you, Nisha, being on the show. Honestly, this has been a pleasure, honestly, having you on here and insightful. I've really enjoyed our conversation during the show. Really do appreciate it. So if you like content like this and want to, hear more of this information like this, please share, subscribe, and just, let's help the algorithm push this so that way. So like, share, subscribe, so that way we can have more people, listen to more content like this. And so, folks, that's another episode of Becoming the Proverbs 31 Woman podcast. My name is Chioma Kehinde, also known as Special Agent Chi. Until next time, stay blessed. Bye.